Good morning, collective. It's your 1111 coach here, Tiffany Satchel, aka Mystique. Thanks for joining me today on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. Today is January 15th, so we are officially 2 weeks into the new year of the 2023. And I pray that you and yours be blessed beyond your wildest dreams for all of eternity. It's a little bit after 6 a.m. And I actually wanted to start going live, but I just do not like the quality of the video. So maybe I'll start going live from my laptop, but I have to figure out how to do that and show you guys the cards. So we'll see. I just don't like the quality of the video from my cell phone. I did it a couple weeks ago and it just looked terrible to me. All right. So today we're gonna do the Psalms reading. All right. Our 1111 coaching is gonna be on reading Psalms today because Psalms these are letters or prayers, should I say? Yes, prayers that most of them were prisoners at war. And they wrote these prayers to God. And they wrote these prayers while they were in captivity or while they were in prison. And it's the way that they wrote them that is most helpful to us because they were within their challenge and they were speaking they were speaking their freedom and their protection into existence. All right, so the more that we read the Psalms, the more that we'll be able to heal our thought patterns, right? Because you guys know I teach EFT, right? And EFT is it's called the emotional freedom technique. And I don't want to get all into it, but basically it's like tapping without the acupuncture. But one thing that this technique does is it helps you to repattern your thoughts, right? So you repattern your thoughts so that they're more balanced, okay? And reading the Psalms, if you're not into EFT, reading the Psalms can help you to do that, all right? So every Sunday, we are going to read a Psalms together. And why? Because when you tap in with Tiffany for your 1111 coaching, my intention is to share information with you that will purposefully shift you from being a muggle-minded follower to a free-thinking mage if you desire. Because I believe we all deserve happy, healthy, physical bodies housing our beautiful spirits, okay? Multiple streams of ridiculously enormous and consistent income that fulfills all of our needs and desires, relationships that are pleasurable and love-based, and a heavenly work that makes us feel whole and satisfies our deepest passions. And I hope I can make you a believer too, okay? So thanks for joining me. And I hope that you will subscribe if you haven't already. And remember to hit the thumbs up to help spread the love because sharing is caring. Okay. So first I want to read a prayer of protection in Psalms 91. Just to attract only those beings of the brightest and purest, whitest light. All right. And I want to repel others. Okay. This book says to do that. And this is the book I'm using. It's called the Psalms. All right. And you can use it as an oracle. Okay. Or you can just use it as a daily pull. They're pretty cool. Okay. I like them. But I did it one time and just, saying, oh, I'm just going to pray my own prayer. No. So if you decide to get these cards, make sure that you read the prayer of protection in Psalms 91. Because if not, your message is going to be freaking scary, yo. All right, so prayer of protection. His fidelity is an encircling shield. Leave all to the Lord. Trust in him. He will do it. May the words of my mouth and the prayer of my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. O you who dwell in the shelter of the Most High and abide in the protection of Shaddai. I say of the Lord, my refuge and stronghold, my God in whom I trust, that he will save you from the fowler's trap, from the destructive plague. He will cover you with his pinions. You will find refuge under his wings. His fidelity is an encircling shield. You need not fear the terror by night or the arrow that flies by day, the plague that stalks in the darkness, or the scourge that ravages at noon. 1,000 fell at your left side, 10,000 at your right, but it shall not reach you. You will see it with your eyes. You will witness the punishment of the wicked, because you took the Lord, my refuge, the Most High, as your haven. No harm will befall you, no disease touch your tent. For he will order his angels to guard you wherever you go. They will carry you in their hands, lest you hurt your foot on a stone. You will tread on cubs and vipers. You will trample lions and asps. Because he is devoted to me, I will deliver him. I will keep him safe, for he knows my name. When he calls on me, I will answer him. I will be with him in distress. I will rescue him and make him honored. I will let him live to a ripe old age and show him my salvation. Okay. All right. So the spread that I'm going to use is the spread that they have in the book, and it's 7 cards. Okay. It's a really cool spread. All right. So let's shuffle the cards a bit. All right. So I hope that you guys are enjoying your day. I hope that you have a beautiful, blessed day. I got some things to do today. I do have an appointment. I do some I do some work on the side to make extra money. And I have a meeting to go to today at 1 o'clock. So I'll be doing that, and I might go pick up my grandson. Depending on what time I get out the meeting, because the meeting is at 1 o'clock. And oh, let's see what that is. I like to look at the cards because it's gonna flip out. These cards are really, really nice. Okay, so now what popped out was Psalms 60 and 4. Verse 4. Okay, so let's read that. That's like our little pre-message, okay? Cards that pop out. The pre-message. All right. You have made the land quake. You have torn it open. Keep your eyes open. What does the drastic state of the world say about the divine, the source of the world? The divine is dramatic. Whenever you can't or won't open your eyes to what you should or shouldn't be doing, the divine, though infinitely patient, will open them for you. The divine, expert at getting our attention, uses the natural world to communicate with us. And a little drama goes a long way. Seeing the land being torn open instills a deep, unsettling fear of the divine, or pachad, which rouses us from even the deepest sleep. Oh, so the Lord is trying to wake us up today. The Lord wants us to keep our eyes open. See, remember I don't know. Oh, I said remember. How you gonna remember? You probably ain't even watched the video yet. So I did a reading this week for Tuesday. Okay. And the feeling that I got for that reading was that someone was going to make an offer that was tainted, an offer that we probably shouldn't accept, or that we really need to look at and make sure that it's what we want. You know, it's like it seemed like to me, like what popped in my head was scam. And it looks like the divine is getting ready to bring that right to our attention. Looks like, you know, maybe I was right. And it says, keep your eyes open. This is Psalm 81:4. Let's see what this one is. I'm not going to take too many of them, but I just want to just see. I'm trying to just shuffle until I feel like a deep knowing. Okay. Blow the horn on the new moon and on the full moon for our feast day. Oh, my God. Now, I never even noticed that psalm. Okay, so now see, this is something that I have a video up. I think I have it on this channel, but I know I have a whole nother channel called Manifesting with Mystique. All right. And basically what I do is I teach manifestation, full moon and new moon manifestation techniques. And oh my God. And I did a video where I said why it's so important to do new and full moon manifestations. And here it is right in the book. Make your plans known on the new or full moon. All right. Wow. All right. So I'm going to read it. In Shakespeare's The Tragedy of Julius Caesar, Brutus says to Cessasus, there is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. In other words, in every situation, there's an opportune time to act. The patriarch Abraham, who understood the wheel of the zodiac, okay, grasped the timeless truth. Rabbi Eliezer the Amodite said that Abraham possessed a power of reading the stars, for which he was much sought after by the continents of East and West. Right now, you have reached or are about to reach an important decision, which will have an impact not only on your life, but on the lives of other people. Timing is everything. Okay, so I'm going to definitely remember Psalms 81 verse 4. Okay, blow the horn on the new moon and on the full moon for our feast day. Oh my God. Okay, so the new moon is the day. Okay, let's talk about the phases of the moon. All right. So the moon is the time that the time of the month, right? It's the beginning of the month where we begin with a clear slate. Okay, it's like a time of new beginnings. Okay, this is the time where we start to gather our thoughts and we plan. Okay, so there's 4 phases in the new moon and 4 phases in the full moon. Okay, so after the new moon, right, a couple days go by, and then you have the waxing crescent moon. All right, and now this is the time that you set your intentions and you send your hopes and desires into the world. All right, so the beginning of the month, what you want to do is you want to sit down and you want to say, okay, where am I and where do I want to go? All right, that's basically what you want to do. You're saying, where am I and where do I want to go? Okay. Let me see. I'm going to pull this up some so that we can have something in the view. Okay. Where am I and where do I want to go? That's what you're asking yourself. Okay. And that looks like a new moon. I mean, a full moon to me. So if it was a new moon, it would be black. The new moon is black. All right. The full moon is white. Okay. Waxing crescent. So after you decide, where am I? Where do I want to go? All right. You start to gather up information. You gather up your thoughts. You make your plans, right? That should take you about a couple of days, right? If it takes you longer, it's okay. Okay. By the waxing crescent moon, this is when you want to set your intentions. All right. So I say this: 3 days before the new moon and 3 days after the new moon. You have that time span to decide. So that's 7 days, right? To decide what it is that you want to do, right? Make your plans, okay? And set your intentions, all right? And then that's when you're going to perform your new moon ritual, okay? So now on the new moon, we don't do a ritual, all right? Not on the new moon. We wait until the next day, okay? And that's because you want to let enough time go by for the moon to fully engulf whatever sign that it's that is shifting into. Like we just came out of the full moon in Cancer, and now we're going to go into the new moon in Aquarius. Okay, that moon is coming up, and I'm not sure when that moon is. Let me see. I need to pay attention. I wasn't even paying. Oh, maybe that's what my that's what they trying to tell me, because I didn't even look it up, and I knew that it was getting ready to come up. I said it yesterday, new moon. I was like, I gotta work on my my new moon ritual. Let me see, when is the new moon? January 21st. So we got a couple more weeks. Yep, January 21st. The new moon is January 21st. Okay, so you got time, but at this time, this is not the time to be worried about the new moon. This right now we're in the third quarter moon, and we're going into the balsamic moon. But let me continue telling you about the moon phases. So we got the new moon, then you go into waxing crescent. After the waxing crescent, then you go into the first quarter moon. All right, this is the time that you begin to take action towards your intentions, right? So let's say that you want a car. So what you're gonna do at this time is, if you didn't get a picture of the car that you want, then you're gonna look for a picture of the car that you want, and you're going to go around and maybe you can search on the internet, right? Because hey, we have technology now, right? We don't have to really go out if we don't want to, or you can go out to the car dealerships. It's up to you, right? You're going to do something like that. If you said that you want to go back to school, this is the time that you might start to apply to the schools to study for the things for those certifications, whatever it is that you going to school for. All right. So this is the time that you begin to take action. All right. And at this time, right, because whenever that you make a bold intention, what happens is an obstacle usually shows up on your path. All right. And this obstacle is to help you to redefine and commit to your goal. All right. So it helps you to ground yourself and get a firm footing to firmly place yourself so that you can attract what it is that you're saying. All right. So it's a time, it's almost like you'll feel like you're pushing forward. Okay. Oh man, I wish I would have known that I was going to talk about this. All right, so then the waning gibbous, right? So after the first quarter moon, then we go into the waning gibbous, and this is the time that you start to build up your momentum. Okay, so now that the universe pretty much showed you where you were weak, okay, it's showing you where you were weak in your vibration toward pertaining to your intention. Now it's time for you to build up your momentum. Now you're going to redefine, all right, and align with your intention, because now you know a little bit more about what you have to do to attain this thing, right? And then the full moon comes in. And now when the full moon comes in, right, now it's like you're receiving a harvest from the intentions that you set over 6 months ago during, like, it would be like six over 6 new moons ago. Okay, so like this past full moon, what most of us would have noticed, right, if we practiced full moon rituals consistently every season, then what you would notice is that those things that you were asking for and making strong intentions for, right, those would be the things that you were asking for and making strong requests during Cancer season. You see what I'm saying? Or later. Or earlier, right? So you go back 6 months or more, okay? So anytime before the Cancer, anything that you ask for before the Cancer new moon, you would, if it hadn't come into effect now, you would see evidence of it. Either evidence of it coming into fruition, or you would see the full manifestation by now. Now, some things, of course, we manifest overnight. You know, and I'm not talking about those things. You know, some things we can get it popping, you know, really fast. But some things take time. And it depends on what it is that you're asking for and how aligned that you are, how out of balance to that desire that you are. Okay, that's what depends on whether you're going to be able to attain it or not. Now, by the waning gibbous moon, now it's time for you to turn inward, right? And now you're going to think about your goals and you're going to be grateful, right? So now it's like, you know, you're still going to do the things that you need to do to attain them, right? If there's things that you need to do, yes, you're still going to do those things. You're not just going to stop altogether. But now it's like, it's an introspecting time, right? So it's time for you to reflect inward. And then by the third quarter, now you're going to release and let go of anything that you feel is getting in the way of you achieving what you desire. So what does that mean? Okay, so it's like, almost like you're saying, okay, I let go of this in exchange for this. You can do something like that. If it's something that you really, really want, you can sacrifice something that you really like in order to receive your desire. Now, what would that look like? You could fast. You could fast. You could say, I'm not going to have sex. You could say, I'm only going to drink water for a couple days. Muslims do it for what? I think they do it for like a month, right? They don't eat before the sun goes down, and they only drink water in the daytime. I mean, you could do something like that. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You can just, you know, just drop some unbeneficial habit. You know? But it's like something like that. It's like, I release this one thing so that I can make room. It's almost like the intention is to make room for your desire. That's the intention. All right, that's the intention. What you want to do is you want to make room. A lot of times we think that we can't manifest, or we might get upset, because it's something that we really, really want to bring into our lives. And the issue with us anchoring that desire into our life is because we need to make room. All right. You got to make room for it. So that's what I have for that. Oh, and then the waning crescent moon, right? The balsamic moon. All right. That's the time that we rest and we recuperate. All right. And we kind of do like what's called like a surrendering. Okay. So it's like you just like, you know, you just like connect to the divine at this time. You know, like you're not making any special requests or anything. You're just being in an appreciative mode. Okay. All right. So that was Psalm 70 verse 6. I gotta read it. It popped out. Why not? All right. Your perceptions may be misperceptions, but I am poor and needy. O God, hasten me. You are my help and my rescuer. O Lord, do not delay. We often hear that money buys happiness, but many rich people are far from happy. Yes, we can find ourselves without money, which can create a host of problems, but we can also find ourselves in desperate need of friendship, love, and of purpose. If in some way you feel poor and needy, be careful that you are not consumed by your perceptions, which in fact may be misperceptions. Do two things. Pray this simple prayer. Source of every good thing, guide what I think, what I say, and what I do so that I can travel from emptiness to fullness and serve others. From a Jewish perspective, worshiping the divine, performing acts of loving kindness, and studying the Torah increases the light in and around us, thereby decreasing darkness in the world. Okay. So this is like the hangman, right? When we have a hangman moment, that's when we need to get a new perspective. So when our world seems to get like dark, right? When things start getting dark, start seeming like they're dark, or like we start getting hopeless, right? Then we have to remember that it's not the truth. It's a lie. Right? That's a lie. It's a lie that we're poor. It's a lie, you know, that's a misconception, you know, to think that we're defeated. All right? So any type of loss that we experience in life, it's really a lesson. It's not a loss. You learn something. Anytime that your life looks dark, it's because, well, all you have to do is turn on the light. Now, sometimes it might be hard for us to, you know, find that light because of our inner balance, right? This is why we do energy work. So now I'm going to ask for a message that will help to support us. Dear God, most high, almighty creator of creation, I'm so thankful and appreciative for the awareness of you, for your divine protection. I ask that you give me a message for the collective that would, a clear, uncut, and raw message that will support the collective over the week and for eternity. For this and so much more, I'm so thankful and appreciative. Amen. Okay. All right. So now we're going to, so the first card is going to represent the past. The second card is going to represent the present. And the third card is going to represent the future. Okay. The fourth card is going to represent the influence of the person about whom the question is being asked. Okay. The fifth card is going to be the influence of the opposition. The sixth card is going to be the influence of the surrounding environment. And then the seventh card will represent the final outcome. Okay? All right. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to cut here. All right, we only need 7 cards. Okay. So here's the first one. It's going to go right there. And here's number 2. I want to make sure that it's in the camera. Make sure that you guys can see them. Okay. That's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Perfect. Okay. So now this is number 1. All right. Let's see. I'm going to bring it up. The images to me are more like they're black and white. Like most of them are like ink. What is it called? You know, like those ink blots. They're not very descriptive images. I guess they're not supposed to be, but. So the first one represents the past. All right, so let's read that one. And that is Psalms 112. Okay. What time is it? It's 30 minutes in already. Okay, I talk so much. Okay. This says, like attracts like. Ooh. Okay. A light shines for the upright in the darkness. He is gracious, compassionate, and beneficent. Light invites light, and darkness invites darkness. As your light increases, you will be drawn to brighter lights, and they to you. At times, you will shine more brightly than them, and at other times, they will shine more brightly than you. You will take turns illuminating one's path, which is one of the hallmarks of spiritual friendship. You have seen brighter days, but don't despair. Reach out to a bright light through whom the light of lights will disperse the dark clouds overhead, so you can once again see the path before you. All right, so now this is talking about the path, and it's past, and it says like attract like, right? So, you know, people always say that opposites attract. And yeah, that's true. Opposites attract, right? But like attracts like. And so this is what I'm going to tell you, like what happened with me. Okay, so at my job, I got transferred. And the reason why I got transferred was because I wasn't getting along with the other assistant. Okay. And she had more time than me. And what happened was I really didn't appreciate how she handled her position. To me, she was a bully. She held people accountable for things that she didn't hold herself accountable for. And to me, that's not fair. That's out of balance. So I had to go to another store, which is fine. You know, so that's what I want to say. If two don't agree, they can't walk together. So if you are in the company of people and you're looking down on them and you're still around them, guess what? Most likely you're like them. Because I'm going to tell you that I had to go. That when you have the Spirit of Christ, right, also, right, it is an all-encompassing spirit. I'm pretty sure that my light angered her demons. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure. Not only her demons. There was other people, you know, that were involved. And, my light kept growing. So it's either you have to, when you're around the light of Christ, you must conform to the light of Christ, which means that you have to raise your vibration. But some people don't want to raise their vibration. Why? Because if they raise their vibration, there's certain things that are not going to feel comfortable doing anymore. That's why. Not because they don't want to heal, not because they don't want to elevate, not because they don't want to grow, but because of the things that they know that they won't feel comfortable doing anymore. That's why. Because people want to heal. Believe me, they want to heal. Now, some people argue for their limitations because of the attention that they get. But there's, it's always two things that's going on. It's like, it's this one thing that they want, and then it's another thing that they want, right? So it's duality. But people want to heal. People want to improve their lives. They don't want to make sacrifices. They don't want to do the work. That's what it is. That's precisely what it is. And I think that's one of the things that that the scripture is saying. So now let's go to Psalms 96 verse 5. Okay. And this is the present. What's going on with us currently? So it says, get rid of the false idols in your life. All the gods of the people are mere idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Okay. So when most of us hear idol, we think of images or representations of deities that so-called primitive peoples worship. Now, see, this is exactly what I was just talking about, right? People don't want to, when you're around, right? So what my light aggravates their demons, right? When you're around a specific energy, right? Especially like I feel like, I'm a part of the Christ consciousness. That consciousness, if they started to conform to my light, then they will have to give up their idols. Right? So I'm going to finish. Every corner of our modern world, which may surprise you, is teeming with idols and idol worship. The word idol once meant imposter. Indeed, an idol is an imposter. An idol of any sort masquerades as the source of life, and those who worship that idol try to entice others to focus their attention on and organize their lives around it. One of the great idols of our time is accumulation. The rich worship accumulation through the acquisition of wealth, and the rest of us through the acquisition of things. In truth, all of us should be strangers to accumulation. The divine gave the entire human family the 7 laws of Noah, okay, which prohibit adultery, blasphemy, murder, theft, sexual immorality, and eating the limb of a living animal, as well as encourage the establishment of law courts. What do you worship? In other words, on what do you focus your attention, and around what do you organize your life other than the divine? So anything that you put above your soul's calling, above your spiritual well-being, anything that you put above your vibration, your connection to the divine one, is an idol. Some people would never, ever, ever, is things that they'll never, ever, ever give up just to heal or get closer to the divine. All right. So some people, they love, I don't know. I'm trying not to say something, that where I'm going to condemn people or seem like I'm judging people. What can I say? All right, let's say licorice. All right. Everybody is not into licorice, right? So some people, even though licorice, right, it sticks in your teeth, right? It's not good for your teeth, right? I barely eat any candy. I'm going to tell you that. I'm telling you the truth. And if I get gum, most likely it's going to be sugarless gum. I hardly ever eat candy because I know what it does to my teeth, right? So licorice, let's say people, they love licorice, right? Despite what it does to their teeth, they're like, you know what? I'm still going to eat this licorice. That's what it's like even though they're going to brush their teeth, it's still like it's in your teeth, dude. Like, you have to go and brush your teeth right after you eat that candy. So, it's going to mess up your teeth. And, so that's what it's like, not taking time out to connect to your body, not taking time out to clear your mind, not taking time out to listen to your inner awareness, to listen to your inner guidance, to develop a dialogue with that super intelligence that is within you. All right. Some people don't like to sit and meditate. Right? I hear a lot of people say, well, I can't do it. I just fall asleep. That's okay. And the fact that you're not meditating, like people like not meditating, not spending time with yourself, right? That's almost like saying like you don't love yourself, right? Like you don't care about yourself. Like you can't like stand being alone by yourself. Like you always got to be around people. Like, you should enjoy your own company. I'm not saying always be alone. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. But, like, you want to... Sometimes, well, this is what I'm going to say. I'm not judging people, I don't know how someone else is feeling in their body, in their mind, in their life. I know how I feel in my body and in my mind and in my life. And I'm like, sometimes I just want to feel my own vibration. And if you have so many people around you all the time, how do you know how you're supposed to feel? How do you know what thoughts that you're thinking? You won't. You'll never know. You'll constantly just be getting... It's like... That's how you learn how to think for yourself. I mean, all right, so, like, the Bible says, don't be focused on accumulation, right? But most of the people that I see that got money, like, they enjoy their time alone. Just freeing their mind sometimes, right? I don't know. I'm just talking, guys. I'm just talking. All right, let's go. We are going on to Psalms 3. The third placement. That's this one right here, all right? And that is Psalms 46:9. All right? And this is talking about the future. That was so in alignment because that's exactly what I was just talking about. Psalms 1, the placement 1 and 2, okay? That's exactly what it was like. They were like so in alignment. So this is how it's supposed to look like. This is how we're going, guys. Boom. I like that. Okay. This is 46:9. Nothing material lasts forever. Come and see what the Lord has done. Now he has wrought desolation on the earth. Okay. As human beings, we have a propensity to think of ourselves as big and powerful. Oftentimes, we believe that our legacy, that is, what we acquire and create, will endure forever. In truth, we are dwarfed it by forces far, far more powerful than ourselves. In the blink of an eye, for example, nature, which is one manifestation of those forces, can obliterate what took a lifetime to build. Don't get carried away with yourself. Neither your material form nor any aspect of your material life is eternal. That's why we have the death card going on. All right. So it's like things have to die so that, like I said, to make room. Right. So I think that that's what this is saying, right? Sometimes things have to come to an end, right? And it's nothing wrong with that because it's making room for a new life, a new creation, right? When our elderly transition, right? We have a new set of elderly that takes their place, right? That has new wisdom, new updated wisdom. All right? That helps for our paradigm to shift. Not to say that I want our elderly gone, but, they represent a wisdom, that some people probably will never even attain, right? But at the same time, we have to allow new wisdom in, right? I didn't make the rules, guys. I didn't make the rules. Then nobody asked me how I wanted, how I wanted things to be in the world. I don't know if I wouldn't want to transition. When I get old, I've never been. I haven't gotten there yet. So I don't know. All right, so now we're up to this represents the influence of the people about whom the question is being asked. All right, be compassionate. Okay, yes. So on the Heal Thyself reading, all right, and the weekly reading, we got the Queen of Cups in the reading. The Queen of Cups she's the feminine aspect that can heal herself, right? She would be considered like the most intuitive, all right? She moves from her heart. She is very, very, very compassionate. Or you could say the Empress, right? Because the Empress is all four queens wrapped into one. But the water element of the Empress or the Queen of Cups, the feminine aspect, is the most compassionate one. All right, she's the one that she's a healer, right? And the way she heals through water. And like I mentioned before in my other video, water is like God in manifestation. Why? Because it can clean you of anything. And there was a time when water, first of all, water is one of the strongest elements as well. All right, think about it. Water can penetrate through anything. A drop of water can destroy something. If a drop of water just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, over time, it's going to create a groove, and I don't care what it is. Over time, it's going to do something. You could cut steel with a spray of water. If you can get that spray strong enough, right? Water is a purifying element as well, right? Just like fire, you could purify with fire, right? You could burn away impurities, and you could also use water to cleanse away or purify, for purification. Okay. So water is like one of like the most strongest healing elements. Okay. So it says, be compassionate. I am all peace, but when I speak, they are for war. Okay. Those who haven't awakened can't see other beings as reflections of themselves. The ability to do so is one of the greatest gifts of expanded consciousness, or Toda Chokmah. On occasion, we may encounter or have to work with one or more people who are suffering from spiritual blindness. They go on and on complaining about the other, revealing their inability to empathize or imagine themselves in that person's place, which makes the situation tedious for everyone. Right now, you find yourself in such circumstances. Yes. Have compassion for those who are spiritually blind or asleep. Inspire change by showing them what acceptance of the other looks like. Eventually, however, you may have to distance yourself from them or remove yourself entirely. Didn't I just say that, guys? Okay, so this is what I'm going to say. All right. Now, we had a lot of teenagers at the other store. It was a training center, right? There was a lot of teenagers that was working for us, right? So now teenagers, right, of course, right, they want to change their schedule, blah, blah, blah. You're going to go through that. This is what happens if you hire teenagers instead of adults, right? Teenagers don't always want to work. And so the things that I was hearing from management would be like, oh, they're so irresponsible. Oh, they're always calling out. Oh, you baby them. Oh, you always want to change their schedule and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, freaking 16 years old. He's 17 years old. Like, what the freak do you expect? Like, you think that they're going to want to give up every Friday or every Saturday to work? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like ridiculous. Like, so that's what I'm talking about. Like, I can't I couldn't, I couldn't watch that. To me, I felt like I was in high school. I was like, this like doesn't even sound right. Like, you're talking about, oh, they have to be more responsible. No, you might need to put a little bit more effort into this job because they're freaking children, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's why it still says teenager at the end. Now I understand, yes, you have to teach them what to do. You have to teach them, but it's like, why are they gonna, I don't know. I feel like, like you should be compassionate towards them. Like, they're children. Like, like they're still learning. We should be happy that they're even freaking showing up. Most of the teenagers that we were working with, like, we put a lot of pressure on them. We put a lot of pressure on them to get a lot of things done. It's just a lot. Like, people, like, to me, like, they were just selfish, and they didn't like that I wanted to work with the team. And I wasn't trying to be nobody's mama. Believe me, I was not trying to be nobody's mama. That's not what it was. And it wasn't like I was trying to be their friend. I was just trying to work with them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like if they came and they said, man, Tiff, like, I want to go to this pep rally, or I want to go do this, like, you should accommodate that. I mean, I even saw a situation where another one team member, I had to work a double. I worked that morning and then came back and worked overnight, because he worked overnight and he had let management know that he wanted to go to his grandma's 90th birthday party. And so he needed that night off. And don't you know that they were going to make him work? And now nobody told me. He told me the last minute, what was going on. But he had assumed that when he put in his request that he was going to get that time off. I mean, you figure that you give 2 weeks notice. It was like, by the time that schedule came out, it's like, hey, I'm supposed to be off that night. Oh, I don't have anybody to work. Sorry, you got to work. How is that being compassionate to your worker? And this is not a regular worker. This was someone that was like always like Johnny on the spot for them. Like, to me, like, that was just like terrible. Like, I mean, how could you treat someone like that? But this is the type of world that we live in. So by the time he came to me, because I had no idea, by the time he came to me and he's telling me the story, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I told him, I was like, go to your grandmother's party, okay? It was far. His family had already left him, and they went on a plane. And because he had to work, he couldn't get on the plane. He had to take the train. Okay? So that's the situation that he also got put in. Where where he had to travel, he had to increase his travel time. And it almost makes me want to cry now, when I think about it. But I'm just like, some people is just like so dirty. Just how could you treat someone? Just terrible. I don't get it. And I am not that type of person. I'm not like that. I just don't operate that way. And I think that, we're being called to move from our heart space. The divine wants us to move from our heart space now. All right. So so that was card number 4, represents the influence of the people about whom the question is being asked. Now we're going to number 5. This is the influence of the opposition. Okay, this is the influence of the opposition. This is this card right here. This is Psalms 41:4. And look at this person on the bed. So this is what's going on with the opposition. Okay. Focus on your health and visit the sick. The Lord will sustain him or on his sick bed. You shall wholly transform his bed of suffering. Focus on your physical health. Pay particular attention to diet and exercise. Are you eating well? Are you exercising enough? If you're wrestling with an illness, it's important for you to get a second opinion and to explore alternative therapies and treatments. If someone in your life is sick, show him or her that You care. That is practice Bakar Jolim, which has far-reaching consequences. Visiting the infirmed, explains Rabbi Abba, son of Rabbi Hanina, removes 1/16 of their pain. Rabbi Dimi goes even further. He who visits the sick causes him to live, whilst he who does not causes him to die. Call or visit your sick family member or friend, and if possible, do something nice for him or her, such as run an errand. Care for the person as you would yourself. Okay, so these people are sick. Just like what I just told you. For someone to do that, they're sick. And I'm not talking about physical sick. Okay? These people are in pain, right? They're hurting. They need a circumcision of the heart so that they are more compassionate. So I feel that we're being called to pray for those, that aren't empathetic to the needs of, to one another's needs. I want to talk about more things, but I'm not going to go there. I'm gonna stop talking about these people because I know exactly what's going on here, and I know what this reading is trying to tell me, and they are getting their fucking payback for a lot of shit that they did. But we're not going to go there because what goes around comes around, right? Yep. All right. So now this is the influence of the surrounding environment. Okay. 105:41. Psalm 105:41. Okay. Expect help from an unlikely source. He opened a rock so that water gushed forth. It flowed as a stream in the parched land. You need others to reach an important goal. Okay, yes. So now this was actually in the healing reading and the weekly reading, I believe, as well. If you're going to move into leadership, right? You're going to have your own business. You're going to become an entrepreneur. You got to be able to work with people, right? You got to be able to connect with people. And this was something that I said, I knew that I always had issues, which I didn't, I tried. It always depended on the people I was around, though. I noticed that I would have issues. And most likely it was people because they didn't like my light, right? My light irritated their demons. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I always had trouble working in teams, right? Team building. And this is something that I said that I've been saying that I want to work on this issue anyway. I'm used to working by myself. I'm used to being a hermit. So what I noticed in the last reading that I did, and it's posted up on my YouTube channel, I believe that was the Heal Thyself reading. That was the one. It's titled Your Wealth Will Last for Generations. Okay. What we saw was someone was confused about what it is, about what it was that they needed to let go of and change about themselves so that they could be more accepted by others, so that they could get along with others, so that they could be more sociable. All right. I know that that's something that I'm working on, because it's not easy for me to work with other people sometimes, and it's because of the energy I carry, the light that I carry, I can only be myself, and I feel like I accept people as they are, but hey, what it is what it is, right? So you need others to reach an important goal. To whom are you going to turn? At such a juncture, call on the divine for what you need most, guidance. Keep in mind that many, if not most, of the answers you seek can be found within. In Kabbalistic circles, the repository of inner wisdom is known as Mokas Tema, an Aramaic term that means hidden brain. The purer you become, the more active this brain or mind becomes. Pray the words of this prayer. Source of inner wisdom, guide what I think, what I say, and what I do. Wow, that's twice that it came up. So we're gonna we're gonna use this. All right, source of inner wisdom, guide what I think, what I say, and what I do. Above all, lead me to those who are in a position to help me. Then open your eyes to the strong possibility that help will come from a very unlikely source. Count on being surprised and then delighted by the assistance offered as everything falls perfectly into place. Okay, so I'll make sure I post that on my community page. Yes, I'll make sure I post that on my community page. So I think that, shoot, you could use that for anything, right? Anything that you need help with, anything that you're struggling with. Anything. Even if you're team building, right? So one of the things that I would have to do if I was going to get my own store, right? So I'm working on, I actually spoke to my district leader and he wants me to go, to get my own store. So I still know that there's some things that I need to get in place in my personal life, right? So once I get those things, get those ducks in a row, then I will be going to get my own store. But one of the biggest challenges that I watch the store leaders go through is finding good people that actually show up to work. Because sometimes you can find people that show up because they need the money, but they might not be that great of workers, right? And then sometimes you might have good workers, but those people don't be freaking showing up, So you want to have people that are more balanced like you. And what I think is that when you are a leader, the group of people that you hire, that you're working with, they're gonna freaking be just like how you are. That's what it is. Because what do they say? You don't get what you want, you get what you need. You get what you are. You don't always get what you want, you get what you are. So if you need to make changes about yourself, even like the people that we attract in our life that we are romantically attracted to, right? They actually reveal to us the things that we need to change about ourselves. And that could be painful to watch sometimes, That could be really, really painful to watch. So now but it's true. And if we could use each other as mirrors instead of trying to control each other's because we don't want to change and telling that image, it's like we tell the image, you need to change so I can feel better. Instead of looking at the image and going, oh, I don't like that reflection. You know what? I need to change. Because you have more control and more power over yourself. I don't want to control people. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like having little minions running around like that. I don't need that. Like, I need people. I'd much rather be around people that can think for themselves. Like I said, and like, what I say before every video, I want to help you to become a free thinker. All right? A free thinker, not a muggle-minded, I don't want you to be a muggle-minded follower. I don't want a whole bunch of mini-me's running around. How are we going to create something great if everybody's, first of all, this world cannot handle more than one Tiffany. That's number one. Right? But how are we going to create something really, really great if we all just have like the same gifts and talents? No, we all have to bring our gifts, our multiple gifts and multiple talents together. And then we could build something really, really great together, So that's what I feel about that. So now here's the outcome. Think of your body as clothing. Okay. He spoke to them in a pillar of cloud. They obeyed his decrees and the law he gave them. To reach the depths of the ocean, we need a submarine which protects us from the enormous pressure of the surrounding water. similarity to communicate with us here on earth, the divine requires special clothing, if you will, which deflects the discordant energy that has accumulated throughout the eons. Think of the pillar of cloud as garment. Infinite wardrobe, which makes a direct and immediate communication with us possible. Our material body, by the way, serves as a garment for the light within, which manifests through it. In his monumental Tanya, Rabbi Skanor Zellman of Lidi, all right, he passed away, that he's the founder of Chabad, mentions 3 additional garments through which the light within shines. He identifies those garments as action, speech, and thought. Remember, the one infinite self speaks through each of us. It's important, therefore, that we truly listen to one another. All right. Wow. All right. So your actions, your speech, and your thought, right? So that's your fire element. And your air element. Fire and air. And fire and air actually nurture each other. Nice. Okay. So the outcome is to pay attention to the things that we do, and the things that we say, and the things that we think, and then we'll be able to get along with people better, I guess, or attract people. We'll be able to live a better life. You know, I'm pretty sure that we'll figure out what that scripture means for us. But I love you with that agape kind of love. And that's the end of our 1111 coaching. If you have not subscribed, then please subscribe so that you don't miss the next time that I share some content. Also, please share this vid if you enjoyed it, all right? Because sharing is caring. And once again, if nobody told you, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Forgive yourself. And thank you. I'll see you on the next vid. Peace.